Okay. Namaste, namaste, family of light. Um, Reverend Sharon Elizabeth, also known as Baba Sharon here. Trying to work out the new way Facebook interacts uh, with Zoom. So this is new. And so I thank everybody for being patient with me as I figure this out. I do think that we are streaming live right now. Yes, we are. Okay. So as people are getting on, I'd like to invite all of the people who will be coming across this on their feed, this live broadcast. It's only live for a couple of minutes. It's like the chat that we do before the anchoring light meditation transmission. And that transmission, which we work with the ascendant realm, specifically the ascendant masters, but not exclusively to the ascendant masters only, the angelics as well as star, our star cousins. It's a whole divine Ami Shaddai family of light that is interactive in this meditation transmission. It does accelerate your path really quickly. It also keeps you healthy, strong, vibrant, and as we go through and young, as we go through these changes that are taking place right now, specifically in this next decade that I call the days of Noah. And so, if there was any a time, to walk on the path of righteousness, I would say that this would be the time for sure. Um, and also, I'm sharing these beautiful tulips that I got for Mother's Day. So we have this beautiful energy that we'll be working with, along with a beautiful labradorite, um, Max the Crystal Skull. This labradorite resonates to that energy. And so, very high energy. So, for those who are looking on this on Facebook Live, as you might be tuning in, or more than likely, what's going to happen, you're going to see this later on. Many people will come across this on their feed later. And so, whatever time that you may see this, it is the now time. It's the eternal forever time. So, this is all transcended to time and space. If you would like to see our transmissions that are very powerful, even as they go through this electronic platform, they are just as potent. You can visit, subscribe, and like our YouTube channel. So that is the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light um, YouTube channel. I've had many people, strangers, people I don't know, have commented they were drawn to a particular um, YouTube channel, whether it was a meditation or a lecture, like our, great Reverend Robin and Annie, who have just profound knowledge, just over the top ancient wisdom information, and being able to put that on a plate for you, that's digestible, that you can understand it. So there is a lot of great resources right there on our YouTube channel. And most certainly get our newsletter, and that's easy to do. You could just go onto our website, which is ccosl.com. That is our website, standing for Cosmic Center Spiritual Light.com, and sign up for our newsletter. We do bring forth the higher teachings, absolutely. Some of the teachings that we offer is not that easy to get a hold of, or we at least at the minimum can give you direction or give you information how to access this much deeper, higher teachings that's not really out there in the general mainstream. So it is our study of the Gnostic Gospels. It is the study of, like, the Pistis Sophia, for example, and great bodies of work like, Urantha and the Law of One and the Keys of Enoch. I mean, Theosophy. These are huge, huge volumes of work that come from the higher planes. And, just to be able to take that information process it, integrate it, and then be able to deliver it in a way that the masses of the people can understand what it's saying, because obviously this is coming from very, 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 very high intelligences. We are here to anchor the Christed timeline, the divine plan. So all of us, particularly those who resonate, if you are on this Cosmic Center Spiritual Light Facebook page, there's that part of you, or that higher part of you, the higher self or the overself, whichever you like to call it, the monad, the soul, that brings you to those on your journey, to those steps that help you to continue your ongoing spiritual journey of light. So that's sort of like how it works. And just like how we show up here at the Anchoring Light transmission, all of you are to show up in whichever capacity that is, whether it be we are each other's students and we are each other's teachers. We can flip roles at any time. And so it is the gathering of the family of light, the tribe of light. We are all finding each other through this new way of, which is part of the age of Aquarius. I remember the masters have said from many years ago. I guess, well, it's 9 years ago. I keep on saying five, but it's really 9 years ago since the inception of the Cosmic Center, to use the tools of Aquarius. Tools of Aquarius, of course, is the electronics, the computers, the internet, what we're doing. And one of the things they said, which is things would evolve, and it's happening right now, is that this technology is reflective of what's going on in us internally. So, in other words, we are now vibing to the fifth dimension and beyond the fifth dimension. As many of us that are beyond the fifth dimension, we are in the world, but we're not of it. Our physical, emotional, and mental is anchored to the world, but the higher parts of ourselves are very much active and interweaving, even as we walk this physical world. And that says that all the time in the Anchoring Light transmissions. They say that all the time. So the fifth dimension is where thoughts are instantaneous, and there's no barrier. There's no like geographical barrier. So that's exactly what this kind of technology is doing. It's allowing us to come together. There are people here now on Zoom that are coming from various locations around the country and around the world. And so we no longer have to be in a location to get together. And the other part to that is that we can have a pinpoint of time, any place where people from all different time zones, different areas can all come to one meeting point. So, yes, the fifth dimension is upon us because we are already living it. We're living it in the form of how we are experiencing our three-dimensional world at the moment with the technology that is here. And the technology, of course, is a spiritual technology. And that technology we are here to use, for good. That's what we do. We're here to anchor the light on the planet and to assist in a major transformation of the planet. And we could either do it, the hard way or the easier way. I'm all for the easier way. And the easier way is lifting the consciousness, for as many people as we can, for each of us as individual to just move on our path of light as much as we can, as high as we can, because all of that does contribute, and our journey into the ascension will be, a lot of that will be dependent on the consciousness of humanity as we go through these changes. So I just wanted to talk a little bit real quickly before we get started, um, on the on our Zoom. And again, for those of you that are on Facebook Live, if you would like to join us, simply look down our Facebook page, the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light Facebook page. You will see Anchoring Light Transmission, Meditation, Baba Sharon. That's my spiritual name. And you just register for it. If you do it now, you can get it fairly quickly, and through an email and participate with us now. If not, then the next time you'll always be able to get on board with that. Okay. So I just wanted to talk very, very quickly about the councils of light. And there are councils of light. I remember years ago, I did have an experience in my dream state. I've had, well, more than one, but the one I remember in particular was where I was like in a room of monks. These were monks, and they had like the brown, you know, uh, overall what they wear, and the hood, and the whole nine yards. And they looked like they were a brotherhood of some kind, and they had that kind of, I guess, uniform or that dress. And I was just, they were sitting around a table. It was a very long table. And in my dream experience, and this, we're talking many, many, many moons ago, I had this experience. But it was then I became aware that there were councils, various councils. I mean, endless amount of counsel. So just like how in any, organization, you have different committees, you have different groups of people, they have different assignments. Even the ascended masters, they have different roles that they play. You have the seven rays. It's just a complex situation. But what we want to know is that many, many, many of us, okay, are participating in these councils of light. We do it in our dream state or in an altered state. We are not yet able, for many of us, to get all of the information of our various experiences in other timelines or in other dimensions. There are some people who do. There are some people that have reached that level that they can do that. And I know a few that can bring back most of their experiences in other timeline, parallel universes, other dimensions. I get snippets of it. I get snippets, but what's happening for many of us, we're getting more and more as our light quotient. And why do we want to increase our light quotient? Because our light quotient will activate those higher parts of ourselves that we'll be able to integrate with in our day-to-day activities here in this world, in this reality that we find ourselves in. So, we definitely want to do whatever that is, or spiritual practice. We do our research, our reading, we use our divine discernment, we use our prayers. The Psalms are very powerful, whether you do the mala beads or you do the rosary. I mean, whichever, it doesn't really matter. It's what resonates with you. You participate in meditations, you participate in those areas where you can receive transmissions. There's a coming together as the family of light, where you're doing it with multiple people, which is very potent. But whichever way you do it, it then activates your ability to not only hold light, but to keep the light. And in these councils that we participate in, we really do get insight and information. But guess what? Guess what? And this I didn't know until, some time ago. I got this insight from the higher realms, and they said your opinion counts too. Like, in other words, we're not just in councils, just observing or just listening. They can turn and say, what is your opinion? Or what do you think? Or what is your insight? So, in these higher levels, we are very interacted with what's going on. It's just that we can't remember it when we come back into this density, into this three-dimensional density. But as we continue to be committed on our spiritual path, that will be less problematic. And there's many now beginning to have glimpses, dreams, where dreams and the waking state kind of blend one into the other. It's all beginning to unfold right now. But the councils of light, And they also have what is known as the ashrams, the ascended master ashrams. And there are some people who consciously can go and come back and retain that memory. There's a few that can, but for most of us, we can't. But that does not mean that we are not participating to the fullest capacity, or that our insight or what we do. So sometimes, you come back and you have like an inclination, a strong thought form to do something, or a strong thought form to, read a book or see a movie, or divine synchronicity starts to click in. And a lot of this has to do with the work we're doing on the inner planes. Agreements are made, a plan is orchestrated. Certain people are supposed to meet at certain times, and that is why if you have an inkling, and you have to develop your ability to be really intuitive, to not let any little subtle thought or inkling or move to just go by, because we are in this world of distraction and distortion and all that would want to keep us from that. And that's why the more you develop yourself spiritually, the more you can pick up the higher guidance, and the intuitiveness is much more radiant and elaborate, to be able to bring in those things that you did in councils, to remind yourself to do them when you are here in this three-dimensional world. So I know a little bit is a little complex, but we are complex beings. We're interdimensional beings. So, if anybody thought like, oh, what are humans? Humans are quite remarkable, actually, quite remarkable. I know sometimes I have a little attitude with humans as a species, you know. They're not getting it as quickly as I would want. But anyway, we are absolutely creations of the divine, and a very high creation, by the way. We're just here in a world that we need to bring up to our original status. And we all can do that. So, with that, I'm going to say namaste to our family of light on Facebook Live, with this new way of doing it with Facebook. Oh, well. Okay, please join us if you can on our Zoom platform. Okay, hello everybody. We're going to get ready to get started over here. And let's see here. Do we have anybody who's new for the very first time? If you would let me know, I would appreciate it. I see everybody here. Good to see everyone. And let's see. Linda, have you been here before? I think so. I think you were here once before. I have the chat open. So again, if anybody's brand new, just let me know. And we welcome you. And if you're new and just kind of starting, and this is your second or third time, welcome, welcome again. So what I do have here is these beautiful flowers. They're so vibrant. They're tulips. And I got them as a gift for Mother's Day. And I just said, let's bring this beautiful energy in to our meditation. And so that's why I wanted to share it with you, that we're going to have this beautiful, vibrant color, yellow, a vibrant yellow from Mother Earth. So thank you, Mother Earth, for this beautiful bouquet that will be part of this meditation. And I also have the beautiful labradorite, and this is a labradorite skull that um, resonates with the crystal skull, Max, which is a genuine crystal skull. And, it holds information. But I've been working with this labradorite skull now for many years, and it absolutely anchors unconditional love. It's just a beautiful, beautiful energy. And I do want to bring this in, the idea, the consciousness of mother and mothering. And that brings us into, our own earth mother. And I want to also just put the idea out there that, I want us to really work on the healing of the mother, and that's on many levels. Obviously, we already know the divine mother, the divine feminine, that has been absolutely distorted and, oppressed, and which is why we don't have an even balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We're missing the anchor, the divine trinity from the higher light that would stabilize those two dualities, and so we don't have that. Was what we're trying to balance out. But in the meanwhile, too, we want to. There's been a lot that has happened in this creation and in some other creations too, the fallen creations, where the divine feminine has been suppressed and oppressed. That is now beginning to change, because that's not how it's to be. That was not the original intention. So, yes, that's great, Linda. And used to practice with you in Port Charlotte. Oh, yes. Okay. I knew your name sounded familiar. And we used to go to the center too. That's right, Linda. That's great. Welcome. I'm so happy you're back. Yay. That is awesome. That is so awesome. I knew that name like looked familiar to me. Glad you're here, Linda. So, all I wanted to say is that I did receive a text from somebody today through Messenger, the Facebook Messenger. And what they said was how Mother's Day was very hard for them because they believe that their mother has never loved them and their mother does not love them. That's really very, very hard. That's very deep. Whenever there is that schism, because that is primordial, a mother, a parent and child relationship. And there are a lot of these woundedness, that comes from this, from the very beginning. But just to share how much our work is needed to bring healing to the planet and to the masses of people, just a huge amount of suffering or unhappiness. And I would have to say that somebody who feels their mother does not love them, there cannot be that deep-seated joy that is our entitlement as these magnificent spiritual beings of light, because of the miscreations and the distortions that are out there. So when we do this transmission, let us keep in mind why we do this. Why are we doing this? Because we're anchoring much needed light to the planet. Okay, and we do beyond the planet too, but we're just focusing right now, on our little globe that we're in, and that's spinning around the sun. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to do a blessing. I am also going to show a pictograph, because that is really very powerful for us to take a look at, put our intention in, and then I'll be using the crystal bowl, which is citrine, very high vibration, and yellow. Yellow. Okay, so this is very interesting. That is the solar plexus. It seems like we'll be working with the solar plexus, which is where we have our power, where we have our gut, where we have our intuition. Okay, so wow, very interesting. So everything seems to be kind of this yellow, vibrant vibration that's going on here. So let's just anchor this and see where it takes us. So right now, all I'd like to do is show this pictograph, and the pictograph is the coming of the new worlds. And this comes from the work of the Keys of Enoch, J.J. Hurtak, the Academy of Future Science. Um, and if you just take a look at it, it is the coming of the new worlds. There are new worlds coming. There are going to be, disclosure is happening now, actually. It's been happening, but I mean, the general public is now going to become more aware that we are not the only deal in this multiverse. Okay, and always we have the divine eye. There goes the divine eye. Let's take a look at that divine eye. Many of us have seen that divine eye. It comes to us as we may see faces or just the eye only, but I'm pretty sure most of us have seen the divine eye in some capacity, and have experienced that, even if it was fleeting. And so I do want to, before we get started, is to talk about this divine eye and say one of the things that it does do in the um, Hebrew name of God of Ezri Umpalti Atah Yod He Vod He. And as we breathe each and every holy sacred breath, no, before we've even started, we are in a holy sacred space wherever you find yourself. We are upon holy ground wherever you find yourself. I behold the healing nature of the divine radiating through me and activating my heart chakra. I behold all of the beings who surround me with their love and offer me their spiritual support. I reject those not of the divine host who want only to control me or have me control others. Once I have surpassed this temptation, I can see clearly enough to behold the all penetrating divine eye, which continually watches over me, whether it be from the divine host or directly from the powers of renewal and transformation from the Supreme One. I see in this vision how the divine is guiding me and directing my every action. I lack nothing because you have helped me, and I am no longer alone. Blessed are they who seek the light, for light shall be given in greater measure. Blessed are they who give of the energy of light, for they shall know the increase. Blessed are the children of light upon the earth, for theirs is the reward of the redemption. For the children of light are given the work of lifting the planet out of its state of darkness through the increase in vibratory rate as it emanates from the being into the ethers. As ye are lifted, you will draw unto the self that one who seeks. The child of light is thereby the servant of the Most High, and it is so. Amen, 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 and amen. And before I forget, I wanted to mention to everybody two important things because I may not remember after the transmission. First of all, this coming Saturday at 5 o'clock, Reverend Annie is having an ecstatic dance to the names of God. So this is going to be a wonderful experience. It's going to be a fun experience. And I want to make sure that those of you who are local, make sure that you can get to the Cosmic Center. It will be open. It's going to be on Saturday, the Saturday Sabbath at 5 o'clock. People will also be able to participate on Zoom. We always will have everything on Zoom. But for those who are local, to be able to come and experience this ecstatic dance meaning, when that Holy Spirit hits you in the names of God, dancing and just, being a living prayer, being the movement of God. Is spectacular. All kinds of healings can take place with that. So I'm definitely going to be there. I'm not missing that at all. And I want to make sure all of you know about it. Those of you that are local, please plan on attending. And those that are not local, you can join on Zoom and be ecstatic right where you are. Okay. The other thing, too, mark your calendars. We're going to have another mystical ceremony. This is going to be, I haven't even written up yet. You guys are always the first to know. It is going to be singing with the seraphim. And the seraphim has made their presence known. The seraphim are the ones that sing around the throne of God. You could look up what the seraphim are. We're very high, very powerful, and their energetics have been coming in. And so I do know that between the eclipses, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, is always those service to self that want to, cause some havoc and, create a war and, cause chaos and all of that. And so we show up and we're saying, not on our watch. That's why we're doing these mystical service ceremonies, because we have the tools to know how to dismantle those negative thought forms and bring in the higher thought forms of light. So you'll get more information on it, but I thought I'd share that with you now.